Next issue with the 300ZX was we found out that there was a noise when we should change one of the bulbs in the headlights. So we ended up taking the headlight off because we realized that something is loose inside. And that was quite a lot of work as well. What was loose inside was actually the holder for the bulb. And that was cracked off. Now it's repaired. Now it's sitting in here again with the 2 screws here. I'm not sure if you can see, but I have glued it back on there. To do that, we had to take the glass off. This is actually glass, it's not plastic. And of course, when having that off and repairing the socket for the bulb, I also realized that the adjustment of the headlight is of course not working. The reason for that was these little guys. And you can see here that there is a crack here. It is not supposed to be cracked. This is 30-year-old plastic, and it sits with a spline through this bolt here that goes down into this gray thing here. And yeah. Now, luckily, I am a bit of a saver, so here's an R32 GTR headlight. Well, it was. It's more or less dead. Most people would throw that away. For some reason, I have saved it. And on this one, you can see here, it's exactly the same type of gear. And those gears, they were actually okay. So I took them off. Here's another one that also was broken in the 300ZX headlight. I took that off from here, and I could repair it. I also changed this part from the 300ZX. It was sitting here. It was cracked and broken. So I took that one off of the Skyline headlight. It's actually exactly the same parts. So now it is possible to adjust both of the lights up and down and sideways. So now all the adjustments are working. We have glued the glass back on, and now it's soon time to fit this headlight to the car again. So the car is up on the lift, as you can see. The new prop shaft has been installed. Nice and shiny. It's a one-piece prop, so that means that it's no longer 2 pieces, obviously. The original one has a bearing here in between, so it's splitted. But the problem with them, especially after a lot of kilometers, is that they tend to become quite worn, which means that there is a big chance that there will be unbalance in them. So you will basically feel the car is shaking at around like 60 miles per hour or 100 kilometers. Maybe even before, then it can disappear again at higher speeds. And that was the problem with this one. So, you know, the prop shaft was really worn, and I replaced it with a one-piece aluminum one. It is filled with foam, so it doesn't make funny noises, which the aluminum one-piece ones can do otherwise. And we have tried that aluminum one-piece prop shaft on other cars, and they have just been working perfectly fine. So I'm really happy with that. Next thing up is the exhausts. I could almost swear that it would not fit because of that turbo change with HKS turbos. And obviously, yeah, it almost fitted, but not really. So what we need to do here, like on the left side, you can see the difference in height here. On the left side, it looks quite okay, actually. Here is a problem. Yeah, and this one is not tightened enough yet. We just mounted them so that we can see basically how they line up. The left one seems to be lining up quite okay, but we will need to cut the rear one. It's been quite cut and welded and modified in the past as well. So I'll do that. The tranny. Transmission is also newly renovated with new synchros, new bearings, etc. That's really nice as well. There's a lot of nice thing now on this car coming on here. As you can see, this car has some nice stop tech, big brake kit on it. I think it's 355 millimeter rotors, and it sits on those 19-inch wheels. They kind of swallow those brakes quite well there. But one weak point on the 300ZX is the brakes. They're not big enough for this big heavy car. It's 280 millimeter rotors from factory with a 4-pot caliper, same as on the Skyline R32 GTR, and on the European S14, the Sylvia S14, it's the same stuff. But the stop tech upgrade here is a really nice upgrade. These are called ST40s. I know that because I had an S14 like 15 years ago when I bought new brakes for it. And I actually bought exactly this kit for my S14. It was a really nice upgrade. I ran that car on track days, etc. So that was a really good upgrade, actually. Yeah, so next up will definitely be to cut and weld a bit. And of course, finish up the electronics, stuff like that. Then after that, we will look into the intercooler, and we need to plumb up the stock blow-off valves so that we will block them off, so we can run the open to atmosphere ones. Yep, that's it for now. Yeah, so the VG is coming together. The intake manifold is finally on. It's always a bit of hassle, especially on this one with those kind of aftermarket HKS turbos here. It did not really line up the way it does on a OEM one. But anyway, the inlet air hoses are on, the outlet pipes, they're on. The intake man, as you can see, is on underneath of there. Here's the injectors. And that was also a bit of hassle since the seals were really bad, but I finally got hold of some new ones and they are in there. It's been finished up here, so we are really coming together. In a bit I'll show you the covers that are painted with wrinkle paint. That's really nice. And we're also going with HKS blow-off valves, as I mentioned before. But to do that, we don't want to do like double. So we have removed the stock recirculating valves. And instead, we are going to assemble the open to atmosphere HKS ones. But we need to plug off the original pipes here. So to plug them off, luckily we have this machine. So spent some time on that and manufactured some own plugs here, labeled them HKS. And as you can see, there's a little edge here so that it won't pop up very easily, and also this outer edge so that you can get a grip on it and pull it out in case you need to do that. So we have manufactured 2 of each size of these ones, so they will pop into there, and then we will continue with assembling these HKS valves. So yeah, we are really getting there. After that, we need to remanufacture the exhaust system, since that doesn't fit with the HKS turbo setup. And then the rest will come up with the pressure pipes, etc. And then hopefully we will be able to start it. Ran into some issues with the fuel pressure regulator. The one that was on the car had a broken nipple for the pressure, and those are not sold as spare parts. That was an old SARD one. So replaced it with a Malpassi one, actually this one here. Something I found in the workshop, but it turned out that it didn't work, so I replaced it with another Malpassi one. Now that one is working. The other one, yeah, it's here, the one that was on the car, but there is supposed to be a hose attached to here, but since this one here was broken off, that could also actually have led to the cause of the broken engine. Now the engine that was in this car is standing over here. We just know that we have a huge leak on one of the cylinders, but we haven't taken it apart yet. But it could be due to detonation, because if that nipple or if that hose attachment is not on there, on the regulator, then it will obviously not get as high pressure, fuel pressure, as it is supposed to get, as it was tuned to. It works like that you put in a pressure, a fuel pressure of, let's say, 3 bars of base fuel pressure. And then when you have vacuum, let's say you have 0.5 bars of vacuum on idling, then you will have a 2.5 bars fuel pressure. And then when you're on normal throttle or open to atmosphere, it's again 3 bar if it's set to that. But if you have 1 bar of boost pressure, then you have 4 bars of fuel pressure. So 1 bar of boost pressure, that is boost here, gives additional fuel pressure. But if this is not attached there, then obviously you don't have the 4 bars of boost, 4 bars of fuel pressure under boost, and that will lead to a lean air-fuel ratio. And a lean air-fuel ratio will obviously lead to detonation and engine failure. So that could have been the cause. It was just broken off, and maybe that's... yeah, I don't want to investigate too much in why, but I have my thoughts. Anyway, could be the root cause. Let's find out when we take that other engine apart. So, yeah, let's continue and see if we can get things up and running here soon.